A lot with Brian Bowersock from West Auto Group, and today we're going to be talking about tune-ups, and that might be a misnomer because are tune-ups really existing anymore? Do people need a tune-up on their car?
Well, tune-up term has really changed these days, to be honest with you. So back in the old days, we had distributors and carburetors and spark plug wires and spark plugs and all these great things that you had to change.
And these parts really don't exist anymore.
No, we have no carburetors anymore for years now. We've gone away from distributors. We've pretty much gone to what's called coil-over. So we're down to kind of replacing spark plugs for a tune-up and a couple other things that you can do along with the car.
So when someone says nowadays they're bringing their car in for a tune-up, what's happening?
Typically with a tune-up is we look at filters, so like a fuel filter, air filters, they need to be replaced in time and mileage, and then replacing spark plugs. As you can see here, we have some examples. We've gone from distributor, which is almost non-existent anymore, and spark plug wires, to a coil with a spark plug wire, and now we just have coil over, which is actually a coil that goes right on top of the spark plug. Each one's fired individually.
And when you say, Brian, when you say nowadays, cars from what year forward?
Well, and all different manufacturers changed at different times, so that's a hard one. But starting with coilovers in the 90s, and we started making our transitions through, carburetors disappeared in the 80s. They went away. So we're always evolving, and obviously now cars are evolving rather quickly. The technology moves really fast to keep vehicles going, you know, in good shape, good gas mileage, things like that.
This air filter looks like it needs replacement.
Pretty dirty, needs replaced. So we have problems with, if you don't replace air filters when doing tune-ups and things like that, when they're dirty, you get mass airflow sensor failures. Issues with fuel systems can cause oxygen sensor failures. So there's things that can fail if you don't replace things like the plugs and that in a timely manner. But there's very minimal parts to replace now these days. So we do air filters, fuel filters, spark plugs, check all the fluids, things like that. Maybe an induction service to remove carbon and keep the car in great working order.
But technically the term tune-up
really doesn't exist. It used to mean setting points, and you probably don't know what those are, and most people don't, which is setting the points dwell inside the distributor, replacing a cap and rotor, spark plug wires, and you used to do this about every 30,000 miles or less. Now we go 90 to 100 before replacing spark plugs.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. I learned a lot here this morning. Thank you so much.
Glad
Brian
to be here,
Bowersock with West Auto Group. We'll send it